Okay, for this project, the very first one, I want you to draw some sample wheels. But before I explain what to draw here, I'm going to go over a few things. So I'm going to start off with wheel 1, the simplest wheel you could draw. So here's a 4-inch with a 10-inch diameter wheel, and it's shown like this. Now, if you were to draw this, I would probably do it in this order, but I wouldn't add the hatch till the end. Then we have these nice little radiuses on the end. So why do they add that? Because if we had the corners like this and we had a wheel with rounded edges, it doesn't chip at the end. So you have these nice rounds at the end. We're going to move into the next wheel. So every time we're going to get to a harder wheel, this is now wheel 3 down here. Now all of a sudden we have a hole. Well, why do we put a hole? So that we can put a pin or an axle inside the wheel. So we have a hole now, and it's also a diameter dimension here. So the purpose of the hole is for the pin to fit in there or for an axle to go in. Let's keep going further down here. Now we got wheel 4. Now we get these chamfers, okay, these cutouts. See, they go on an angle and they come out. Well, what's the purpose of that? Well, if you grab one of these pins, okay, so let me just copy one of these pins over, and you put it inside. Okay, so you grab one of these pins, and you put it inside where these chamfers are. It'll direct it so that it'll go in the center and come in straight. It'll help it, it'll push it, it'll make it move towards the center so it's easier to fit in. So that's why they put those chamfers on the outside there. Okay. The next wheel here, so this is wheel number 5, and it has usually all the details a wheel has. The last part is these holes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. Well, the main purpose of these holes is they put a chain or a rope through them, okay, and they lift it up. They're for lifting. You do not want to put it in the center because it wrecks the inside where the axle comes in. So instead, they put ropes in here. This is just for moving it around, putting a rope or a chain, and so you can move the wheel around. Okay, let's see the progression of the pin. So here's the axle or pin. So right now it's just flat. It has these chamfers on the end so that it can fit into the wheel nicely and smoothly and comes in. Okay. Now, over here is a more advanced one. So all of a sudden they put this plate or this little thing sticking out of the axle or the pin. Well, why do they do that? Well, here it is. Here's an assembly. The pin comes in, okay, and it hits and it makes it stop. So it goes to the right position. So this is basically where it stops. They add this piece here, okay, or when they machine it, they make this piece so you know where it stops. Okay, here's what I want you to do. It says draw wheel 5, pin 2, and assembly 2. So if you're using AutoCAD, I've drawn it, and it says draw on 1 to 4. I've done it over here. I want you to maybe on one drawing, go and draw the pin with all the details and put it on one drawing. Okay. On the next drawing over here, you can just do this wheel, wheel 5, and put it right here. And on the last drawing, you can put the assembly. Now you don't have to print anything out. You just save it, okay, and you attach it. To get the drawing file, I put it on the Google Classroom where to find it, or you can go to my website at scomra.ca and you can find it under the drawings as well. Now, if you're doing this by hand and you can't get AutoCAD, so I still want you to do something. I still want you to draw. Okay, so here's what I would get you to draw. I get you to draw wheel 3, a little bit easier. So I want to see if you can do the rectangle here, the 10 by 4, and try to curve the ends and add this hatch. Okay, over here, just the 2 circles, okay? And try to line it up when you draw it. And if you have a compass, if not, you'd have to draw the best circles you can. Otherwise, if you have a compass, try to draw the compass and match it up and put the center lines in as well and add these dimensions. You can put like a little arrow and saying what the radius is and try to add these dimensions by hand. I want to see how well you guys can do if you're doing it by hand. It's going to be harder than you think. I would recommend some graph paper. You can use 4 grids on the graph and 10 down here. It's a lot easier to line up if you have graph paper. Over here, I want you to draw this pin as well. Okay, it's a 10 by 4 pin. Okay, and finally, I want to see if you can put it together. So you do a rectangle and you like you cut it short and you put this, and again, I want it to scale. So I really, if you had graph paper, be the best. You can do it on separate sheets if you wanted to. And then you take pictures and you scan it in. That's if you don't have AutoCAD. I'd like you to do these with the dimensions and the center lines. Make the center lines thinner. Okay, and same with the hatch. Make the outside lines thicker. Use a pencil because you'll be doing a lot of erasing.